working with horses, there's three energies that we have to consider, and they're always present. The first one is impulsive energy. It's herding, pushing energy. It's what horses use to move each other around in the herd. The next one is a blocking energy. It's neutral. It's a traffic cop. Don't move any further. The third one is a drawing energy. I'm asking the horse to follow my draw, bring its head into my open hip. Now all these energies can be applied to body parts of the horse. So there's 5 buttons on each side of the horse that we can apply these energies to. The first one is the flank. It's for forward. It's the forward button. The next one is the hip. We move the hind end around. Same on the opposite side. The third one is the bending button. It's right in here at the girth line. So from the withers, with the withers going to the back, we draw an imaginary line down to where the ribs start to curl under. There's a little divot right here where your thumb just kind of plucks in. That's the bending button. If I massage this, the horse will bring his head in and down. This is where my leg or a spur would plug in. It's the axis of the horse. Button number 4 is the shoulder. I can move the shoulder to the side. Button number 5 is the corner of the mouth. So if the horse goes up and down with its head and moves around, I have to stay with it. All these buttons are on both sides of the horse, left and right. Now there's another one which is in the center of the chest. This is where I want to back my horse up. Right in here. I'm not going to back it up by the head, but by the chest. Back up. Back up. So all these energies can be applied to all the buttons on the horse, except for the corner of the mouth. The only energies we want to use here are either blocking or drawing, asking the horse to bring its head in. We don't want to use impulsive pushing energy into the head and push the head away from us. You see what that did to the horse? He went up, inverted, and put his head out. He was rude to the horse. It was very pushy, bullyish behavior on my part, yet people do it all the time. They let the horse come in, and then they say, change my mind, put your head out. I'm going to block the face, and if the horse does come in, and it's too late for me to block, I'm going to talk to the shoulder, and tell the shoulder to move over. The head will follow. It's attached to the body. It has to follow. These are the buttons, the 3 energies that we can use to communicate with the horse. So just like people, horses have a personal space, a sensitive area. We call it the no-go zone. And it starts from the point of the shoulder at about 45 degrees out, and around the front of the horse's nose, about a foot out, in a triangle, to the opposite side of the shoulder. This is the no-go zone. So in order to be polite and user-friendly to a horse, we want to stay out of this zone as much as possible. If we do go in it, and even if we're pointing at it, we have to be aware of our body language. Horses read our energies coming from our core, which is the belly button right here. They read energy coming from our hips, from our shoulders, from our hands. So if I'm going to cross around her no-go zone, I'm going to make sure I'm drawing away from her. I'm bending at the hip, I'm drawing my shoulders back, go to the other side. You can see how her head stayed level, she didn't invert. If I was just going to walk across her front end with my shoulder in her face, it was very forgiving, she didn't invert. But a lot of horses will invert as people walk through the no-go zone, sending impulsive energy into the head. So if I'm standing here alongside her, I'm going to make sure I'm angled so as not to put energy from my hip and shoulder into her no-go zone. This is very rude behavior. It causes a lot of horses to get pushy with their shoulders, get nibbly with their mouth, or even bite. So I want to be neutral here, or even off. Same when I stand next to her shoulder, I'm going to be in neutral or off, which means you can bring your head in. I'm not going to stand here having my hip in her face. Right now I'm pushing into her neck with my hip.